Uh, okay. So I will share my screen. I would also give the introduction, and then our speaker will take over for the next 40 minutes or so. So like, sorry, he has a wrong title. Uh, I use the same slides for each session. So today, like I said, we're going to talk about freelancing and pricing strategies. And yes, like I said, we're going to be learning about how to price our skills, market our craft, grow online presence and grow an online presence as well as we kind of like take our, freelance journeys forward. And as usual, my name is Victoria Joel, and I'm a 3D animator. I studied animation and also into video editing and other creative fields. And also, Kehillah Studios is something I started this year, as some of you already know, and a platform where that is established with the purpose of networking with other African creatives around the world and promoting African storytelling through animation, film, and art. And pretty much it's a vision which I already went through in previous sessions of empowering creatives who bring African stories to life through animation, film, and design. So that's pretty much a three main areas, while other creative areas also an additional. So we wanted to establish this platform so we can have opportunities shared to African creatives. Any opportunities available for African creatives around the world, we share it there in our community and also create a space for networking. So our speaker for today is David, who's a 3D and sorry, David, who's a 3D generalist with over 4 years working experience, being an animator who played major roles on diverse projects ranging from movies to short films, advert games, etc. He has contributed immensely to production of few projects such as Lady Bucket and the Motley Mobsters in 2020. And David is one talented individual with keen eye to details, driven by a passion for African storytelling, presented in a comical and relatable way for both kids and adults. And he believes animation is a powerful tool for educating the younger generation, and it also serves as a means of livelihood for him. His ultimate dream is to establish one of the best 3D animation studios across Africa, but he can impact the society by creating unique African content and training the next generation of animators. So that is David's intro. So I'm going to hand over to him right now so he can go through the freelance um everything you need to know about freelancing and stuff like that. And then afterwards we could leave room for questions and answers from myself and also from our participants today. So I'm over to you, David.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good
Please,
evening.
if you can hear me, maybe you should help me send an emoji. If you can't hear me also, because I'm having a bit of issue with my sound. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, okay, good, good. Yeah, I'm David. I'm a 3D character and animator. I've had a couple of experiences with softwares and with studios I've worked with over time. I started animation basically in 2020. Um, and since then till now, I've worked on diverse projects. So when I was, invited to speak here today, I felt like, oh yeah, this is an opportunity to, to actually say a thing or two about my journey so far. And yeah, I'm really, really happy for this opportunity. I'm so grateful um, to the platform. This is Victoria, am I correct? Miss
Yeah.
Victoria for this opportunity. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. So yeah, let's quickly dive in. I'd like to share my screen if that's possible.
Okay.
So do I have the access yet?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes. Can
Okay.
see.
So as titled, Intro to Freelancing and Finding Your Place in the Digital Market. So let's go straight into understanding freelancing. So what is freelancing? Well, freelancing could be anything. There are different definitions to freelancing. For me, I see freelancing as a means of livelihood in a way or in a manner at which I am comfortable wherever I find myself, still, making an impact. Let's say, for instance, I am comfortable in my home right now, and I can't boast of working with at least 2 or 3 studios at the same time. You know, I can work remotely. I can choose to work hybrid. You can even work in a studio and still freelance. So it depends on how you see it. But there's no, there's no definite meaning to the word freelance, provided you're um in a space where you're comfortable, where you can actually create your when you are creative, you are satisfied, you can do something satisfactorily in a space. I feel that is what freelancing is, because if you're in a place where you're not comfortable, then there's no point. You can't actually be creative, right? So when you find a space where it could be an environment that is serene, where there is no noise, probably that's where you're comfortable and that is where your creativity actually works. You can actually be in a space where, maybe it's in your home, maybe it's in an office, maybe it's in, a studio, in an environment where everybody around you is a creative, right? So it is just a means of getting the work done. That is how I see freelancing, and it may not actually be the definite meaning out there, but that is how I see it. So now let's move to the next. How it's changing work globally. Well, it is the changes globally are felt. We can see them, we can taste them, right? Let me give an example. AI, for instance, you can see how much of AI that is being inducted in animation currently. It is because people come together. Now, people that come together, they don't really see that. I don't think they've even, there was a film I saw that was fully done, like it was a full blown AI movie, and it made sense. My mind was blown. People that made these films did not really see themselves physically. They had meetings like this online, and they came up with what they would do, and it came out success, it came out great. So freelancing, you don't need to be in a certain space. You don't need to be in a certain position or in a certain place before you be able to deliver your quota. No. So that is one good thing about freelancing. And it came to, I started enjoying freelancing right from 2020 during that coronavirus era when, we were asked to stay back home and work from home. That was when I understood that, oh, wow, I am more productive at home than I was in the office. That was how I found my space as a freelancer. So it is where you are, if you're giving out your own best from your comfort zone or from where you feel, oh, this is where you can actually belong to, this is where you can actually work from. I feel you're actually if you're putting your best in a certain project, you are probably changing the world because you don't even know who will get to see that project at the end of the day. So that's that. Key platforms and opportunities. Well, there are a lot of platforms. There are so many platforms online. LinkedIn is one. LinkedIn is one major platform that I would advise everybody to be on if you're a freelancer. The next platform I'd also advise to be on, you should be on, is there are ArtStation, there is Indeed. Um, I do Instagram as well. Then there's YouTube. You see, the social media platform is one major space. It's one major space that to be on as a freelancer, as an artist, as a creative, right? So if you're on social media, make sure that your projects and everything, your portfolio and everything is online where people get to see. So I do Instagram, I don't do TikTok much, but I have my animations on TikTok. I do LinkedIn very, very well. I mean, LinkedIn is my major my major platform for opportunities. I also do I do ArtStation and I do YouTube. I have all my my animations on YouTube. So yeah, so moving on to page 3, identifying your niche and unique value. So talking about niche, people see it as a certain let's assume a certain gift that you have and you feel you should offer. But I see it as not just a certain gift. I see it as a situation whereby you can learn anything. I mean, if you see learning as a niche, trust me, you will learn everything and you'll be indispensable wherever you find yourself. For instance, myself, I do graphic design, I do video editing, I do 3D animation. In the animation space, I do rigging, I do a bit of modeling, props modeling. I do animation. Animation is actually my core skill in terms of in the field. By the time animation, I do lighting, I do rendering, I do a bit of VFX, and now I'm looking towards going into gaming. So let's assume that, oh yeah, you say modeling is my niche. Yeah, it's a good thing, true, but it is not enough because there are studios out there that would tell you, oh, we already have our models complete. We need someone to rig the models and probably push to animation. I don't know how to rig. So I feel your niche should not be tailored to just one specific skill or one specific goal. It should be it should be your niche should actually, be, how should I put it? You should see yourself as someone that is willing to learn at any point in time, wherever you find yourself. They can ask you, oh yeah, can you use this software? At that point in time, you don't know how to use that software, but there's YouTube, there's ChatGPT now for you to, learn it. So that is how I see it. That's just from my own point of view, and that is how I've grown over time. Um, what makes me different, or what makes you as an artist different? Well, you this question actually, why I had this question was because I was actually, I was seeking for an online employment. I mean, with a studio, and I was not going to apply there physically. It's not a studio within the country in Nigeria. It's a studio outside of Nigeria. So I sent them my portfolio. They reached back, and then we got on video call, and this question was thrown at me: what makes you different? Trust me, I am as the same as every other person. I have 2 ears, 2 eyes, one nose, and I'm the same looking at me, right? But you see, people don't really know what makes them different, right? So this question, you can actually say, oh yeah, I can actually offer what the other person can offer. It's a lie. The other person can offer it. What makes me different is the fact that I am willing to learn. And not everybody will tell you, oh yeah, I want to learn a new skill. I am willing to take criticism. Not everybody, because people can criticize you in a way that you may start crying. Trust me, when I was coming up in this field, there was a point where I had to literally step back and ask myself questions like, bro, do you really want to do this? I mean, how did I get here? So you need to look inwards and find that thing in you that makes you unique. If it's in animation, there probably may be a way that you get to animate, and that may be your signature. It can be a way, it can be how you see a story. Maybe a story may be told and you're there and you see, oh, there are loopholes in this story. Why don't we add this to make it look better? You're an animator, you're not part of the story team, but your input in the story may change the entire feel of the story, right? So I feel what makes us different, what makes me different may actually be, may actually not be what makes you different. So find that unique thing about yourself, that original thing about you that makes you original, and pitch it wherever you find yourself as an animator. Then position yourself strategically. Well, for me, positioning myself is one thing I am still working on, because Nigeria is a space where we are not sure of what comes May. We don't really know what will happen tomorrow or what will happen next tomorrow. Like we're talking about task currently that we're expecting to start in January. So I'm currently working on that, like strategically. But one thing that I feel we should look into is the fact that aside from being a creative, we should also get to have a stand or get to understand what is happening in the next or in the next line. What should I put it? In the next, let's say, line of profession. Let me use that word if it's a word actually. So, for instance, myself, I'm an animator. I sit with my system all day, but I don't have any idea how the marketing of what I do works. I don't know how they get to market my animation. I don't know how they make money off animation, right? And I think, oh yeah, if I'm going to start, if I decide to put out my own personal project, and then I'm not working for anybody, I'm working for myself. How do I get to, you know, market this animation? How do I get to reach out to people? How do I write proposal letters? Because trust me, I'm not gonna be a 3D animator working on people's projects for a long for a lifetime. It's gonna be for a certain period. As I speak right now, I have a project I'm currently working on that has gotten about four or five um, um, four or five festival recognitions, and it has screened so far on 5 platforms. On one of those platforms, I was present, and this question was brought up, and I felt, oh yeah, they were talking to me because I'm this person that would just sit behind my screen and just do creative things. But these creative things, how do they get out there? How do they make money off these things? I have no idea. So I'm currently working on this positioning thing personally. But what I would say to an upcoming animator or an upcoming movie director is that one of the things you should do to position yourself, first of all, is make sure that your social media handle works. Make sure that you are available to, you're always online, you're posting back to back. If you're doing anything, and make sure you're also on platforms like Kehillah, platforms like I said, Kehillah studio on the group, the WhatsApp group, platforms like that, platforms like the Animation Nigeria, right? These platforms actually work. If you're there, you get to see people's job, people's work. You get to see people's comments. You get to, meet up with people. You get to, relate. You understand? And by doing that, you're actually putting yourself in their faces like, oh yeah, this is who I am. This is what I do. And they actually get to, see what you've done, and then they now try to reach out to you. Oh yeah, can you help me? Can you work with me on this project? Are you available for work? Can you do this? Can you do that? Now, the big picture in all this is I can be working with Miss Victoria, for instance, and it's just a project. But I don't know who may see that project tomorrow and be like, oh, how did you get this done? And she'll be like, oh yeah, I have a team. And that is how you start working internationally as an animator, right? So I think positioning yourself actually deals more with how you handle your social media, how well you are able to put out incredible work, your personal projects online. If you're working on any project and you are given the freedom to post your part of the project online, please, that is an opportunity you should not sleep on. Let's assume that I worked on Checkers Custard Animation. I posted it online. I've worked on Fidelity Bank, but I've not been given the permission to post yet. I just finished working on Tessetom adverts with Orange VFX, and they are still working on the animation. These are the things I'll post. I'm just finished working on King of Thieves, the part two, the montage for the part two. These are things I'll definitely post. So when I post these things, people get to start and they'll be like, oh, this guy how did he get this far? This is how I got far. I use my social media platform. I make sure I post everything. If I move mouse on one thing, I'll post it. So people get to see that, oh yeah, this guy is doing this thing. So I'm always in their faces. So I think think that answers that. The next page is build a great portfolio, creating professional online presence. The first on my list is build a great portfolio. Portfolio is key. Portfolio is something that, we sleep on most of the time. And it is actually, it's something that I can't actually emphasize much on because the time is limited. But you can't have a great portfolio. That is just the truth. That is what I see it as. That is just me personally. Because as an artist, I am not satisfied with anything I do. I don't know if that happens across board with everybody. But for me, I can post something now and tomorrow I'll be like, this is not good enough. I don't think I can actually get something. That is just me personally. But just post something. Just keep posting. You don't know who will see your work and be like, wow, this guy is good. You may not be good to yourself, but people out there are seeing you as good and they are giving you that kudos. They may not even interact, they may not like, they may not comment, but they are seeing it. So your portfolio is a key, is a key thing. Bring together the stuff you've worked on over time, whether good or bad, whether the work cycle is not working properly, whether the head is not nodding properly, just post it. Post it on your LinkedIn or your, wherever you are, your social media platforms. Let people get to see that, oh yeah, this is what you do. And when the need arises, they'll contact you. Use social media smartly. I think from the very beginning of my session, I've been talking about social media, social media, social media, social media. Because that is how we work as freelancers. The only place where we get to advertise ourselves is the social media. That is how we get jobs. I mean, because if I walk from here to a studio close by, they will say, oh yeah, they need me in-house. And trust me, I can work in-house. I've worked in-house separately. I worked in-house with Anthew's studios 2 years ago. I worked in-house with 32 AD animation studios. I worked in-house with Tapes animation studios. I worked in-house with a lot of studios in Nigeria, right? But trust me, it depends on who you are. Me personally, I can work in-house and I am not productive enough. So it's not like I'm not thinking, I may not actually be as creative as though or as if I'm working at home. If I'm at home and I'm in the quiet in the environment and I listen to my soul music, that is when I get to work and I get to be more creative. So please, social media is actually very, very important. Then keep your profile consistent. Yes, this one is key. You need to actually stand one place. If you're a makeup artist, let people know, oh yeah, aside from being a 3D animator, you are also a makeup artist. Let this be on your social media so that today you will not be seen doing makeup when you are supposed to be working on the project. Or people are seeing you as an animator or as a modeler or anything you're doing that you claim you do online. Then tomorrow you are seen doing something else. Then people will be confused. They will not really understand how to engage you. So let your social media be as clean as possible. Let people know, oh yeah, this is what I do. If you have, I mean, it's okay. I mean, to be the jack of all trades. It's actually very okay because you may not even, you don't even know where you find yourself. You may not know where you're relevant. You can be relevant anywhere, provided you have the knowledge, you have the skill, you have the ability to offer value. You can actually be needed anywhere. There are people that I know that they were hair barbers before they moved into this industry and are doing very great. And when it comes to if they get a job as a barber, they go and just do their they do their hair barbering thing and they come out to work and it's on their page. So people even, I mean, I've seen fashion designers that have actually adopted animation. And now, aside from doing the normal fashion designing with their machines, they're now so close on Marvelous Designer and post online. That is actually a great start. So let your profile be consistent. Make sure that whatever it is you can offer is stated clearly on your social media platform. So wherever it is I want to reach out to you, can always reach out to you on that base, on that note. So if I am, a fashion designer, for instance, and I'm into the 3D space, I'll post clothes from, my fashion designing. I can post clothes that I'm actually working on. I can also post clothes I have actually designed using Marvelous Designer of Clothes 3D. I can also post characters that I have animated wearing the clothes that I've designed. That's how people get to see that, oh yeah, this guy is into these things. But if you're someone that you have these creative skills and you're not displaying them, or you display one and then you have other things you're doing and it is not being displayed, nobody knows. And then, today you're here, tomorrow you're there, you're not consistent. People will not actually get to trust you based off on what you've posted online. So that's on the consistency. Then the next one I would want to talk about finding and retaining your clients. Please, I'd like to take a time of just a quick break. Just I need to respond to someone. Just give me a minute, please.
Okay.
All right. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Sorry, someone was actually knocking on my door. I need to just quickly respond because the noise was distracting me. All
Okay.
right. So okay, so I was here finding and retaining clients. Was I? Okay, building a portfolio. Sorry, just give me a minute. Oh, okay, yeah. So finding and retaining clients, strategies to find work. Um, Clients can actually come from anywhere. Clients can come from your social media. Clients could be actually from your circle of friends. For people that have seen your portfolio before. Um, for me, I use more of social media as a strategy to find work. I use more of my social media platforms, my LinkedIn. I mean, I've gotten tons of calls from LinkedIn, some of which I took, some of which I outsourced, and some of which I work from. Um, Same as Instagram, same as even Facebook. I've gotten a gig from Facebook. If you're not on Fiverr, please try and get on Fiverr, get on Upwork. Upwork is actually very, very, it's a key platform that can actually engage you in the now. For me, I don't do Upwork or Fiverr because I have my own personal reasons for not doing that right now. But yes, I was on Upwork some time ago, and I got jobs at the time on Upwork. But as time goes by, I had to just switch to something else. So strategies like this, strategies I used as an animator that I've used until now is connecting. When you go to an event, I mean, always make sure you attend 3D events, 3D festivals like this, physical festivals, online festivals, 3D hangouts. Just go out for events, 3D related events, not even 3D alone, tech related events. Wherever there's an event, make sure you're there. If you can't go, make sure that someone that knows your own that knows what you do is there that can actually pitch your skill to someone there, to people there. Make sure that you're seen. Make sure that make sure that whatever it is you're currently doing or you're doing right now is seen by people. So whichever opportunity you have, really please use that opportunity to advertise yourself. Let people know, oh yeah, this is what you do. But that is how jobs will come. You don't know, someone may actually have a music that he has sung, and then he probably is considering to use that animation for the video or to shoot a proper video. And when the person sees your work, the person be like, oh yeah, let me do animation then. Alpha, can I engage you for animation on my music video? You may not, but if you're in your house and you don't go out for events, you may miss opportunities. Opportunities just be passing you by. So that's strategy. So first strategy I would suggest is go out for events. Second strategy I would suggest is your social media platform. Please make sure your social media platforms are, they are great, they're excellent. Just keep posting, keep engaging people. You can even reach out to some people in their DMs. You can, not to attack them or something, not to send them portfolios or something. Just a proper, conversation. Hello, good day. I am so person, introduce yourself. If the person is responsive, that's an opportunity. If I message someone on LinkedIn, person like, and I'm like, hi, good evening, and the person is responsive, that is a great opportunity. I will make sure I pitch everything I have. I'm not doing that because I want to get, an instant employment at that time. But I'm doing that to let the person that, oh yeah, this is what I do, this is who I am. Should in case there's an opportunity anywhere, please, I'm available. And if the person, is still responsive, that is a great plus. That is a connection. There's somebody I met on LinkedIn. Her name is, I've forgotten her name. I've forgotten her name. But I saw her, she attended this anime school. Then I saw her portfolio. And I was like, wow, this is good. Then I reached out to her on LinkedIn. And she responded immediately. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Then I asked for her Instagram. Then she said my Instagram handle. And we got talking. And then I asked if she has a handout for animation that I can actually study to, better my work. And then she did not only give me handouts, she gave me handouts. She asked me to send her my portfolio, which I did. And then she corrected all the mistakes in my portfolio. And they started giving me classes online on Instagram at the time. And those classes actually changed my workflow from that time till now. So I'm really, really grateful to her. And trust me, if I had not reached out to her on LinkedIn, I wouldn't have known what I know now. Now, this lady has gone ahead and she worked on Justice League. She worked on Ralph Breaks Internet. She has worked on a lot of films, a whole lot of films, and she's white. I never knew she would even respond to me. At first, I just tried my luck. So these are strategies that you should just, you should put in place. Now, communicating effectively, I just spoke about it now. Make sure that, you're reaching out to people. While you go out for events, you don't just go out to event and just sit down one place and watch as a creative person. You have a market you want to sell. You have something in you that people don't know, that people need to see and engage you based off on. You understand? So when you get out there, if you're a lady, if you're a guy, make sure you connect, go meet somebody. Hey, what's up? Good afternoon. I saw what you did. So. I mean, I've been in a situation whereby I had to quickly go on Google to search on social person's name. This lady, I've forgotten her name, something Sinden. I think is it Victoria Sinden or so. She works with Triggerfish in South Africa. So she came to Nigeria earlier this year, and she was at the Animation for Women Festival that I attended. And when I saw, this is for Triggerfish, I've been applying to Triggerfish since 2022. And there was a time I got a video call with them, but they said, oh, they are sorry, they can't employ me because I'm in Nigeria and, the distance and all. And I said, oh, no problem. They said if I can find myself in South Africa, I should come to the studio. But I can't go to South Africa at the time. So that was how the whole thing ended. So later I saw the woman and she came and, she gave a speech on how she worked on Kizazi Moto and all. I was like, oh, wow, this is good. There is no way this woman would leave this place without me getting her contact. If she leaves and I did not get her contact, that means that I have messed up, So I waited for her outside. And immediately she stepped out. I was the first person to meet her. Hey, mommy, good afternoon. I saw what you did. I saw you talked about it. I'm an animator myself. Then I started pitching myself to her. And she was like, oh, she's sorry she don't have the time, but I should send her my portfolio. So she gave me her WhatsApp. Then I got home. Then I settled down. And then I composed a message. I sent her my portfolio. And her response was brilliant. Her response was superb. I could not even, I didn't even really expect, her response to my portfolio. And I was like, wow, am I this good? I didn't see myself as that good before. until I saw a response. And I was like, okay, this is awesome. So please, communicating is key. If you don't communicate what you have inside of you, nobody will know what you can do or what you're capable of. Now, turning clients into repeat customers, this particular strategy, right? It depends on various things. But out of these various things, I can actually list about a couple of them, is it two or three? The first one I would list is the quality of your work. You know, if a customer will come back to you, then it has to be because you give him the quality that he is looking for. Or it may not actually be quality he's looking for, but the quality of your work is good enough for him to always come back to you. Right? That is the first. The second is how you were able to relate with that customer. Now, there are times when a client, not customer, sorry. Okay, let's do a client. There are times when a client will, discredit your work, and he will do it directly at your face. He will tell you this thing you did is bad. This is not what they're looking for. And is that making you feel as if you don't know what you're doing? At that point in time, how you respond to that client will matter if both of you would have, if you would have a disagreement at that point or not. Now, if you get to that situation where a client's response to your input is actually very bad, or he's actually not, is giving you negative response, he's giving you destructive criticism, because there's constructive and destructive. That's how I put it. He's giving you destructive criticism on your work. What I would suggest is you just take the chill pill, you calm down, because he don't understand what you did on that particular project. It is you that is doing the whole thing. I've heard someone that told me that to animate is literally Control A. I mean, how will you animate by pressing Control A? So you just press Control A and sit back down and watch it animate. It doesn't work like that. You do the work, because they don't understand these things that you're doing, So let him speak, let him, pour out his heart to you. Then, because you are the calm guy and it is your field, you cannot say, okay, no problem. I heard what you said. Now, how can we make this better? What exactly do you think we can do to make this work? Please explain. You can go ahead and say, no, I understand. I know I didn't follow whatever it is you are directing me to do. But please, let's switch a dialogue. What exactly do you want me to do? Now, if you are that calm with any client, that client will always come back to you. Now, aside from that, because people don't understand what you do, and they see it as one simple thing. After all, he's at home, he's not doing anything, he's just sitting down with his computer and he's making money. They don't know what you're doing that is making you make money. They don't know how difficult it is that you're working. You're working on projects like that. So you need to explain these things to a client. You may not really explain the nitty-gritty of it, that, oh yeah, you press W to move, you press E. No. But let him understand that it is not quite easy to ensoul a character as an animator. It is not quite easy to take pictures and recreate those things as a model, as a 3D model. So if you want something, let him give you clear direction. Most of the times I ask for animatics, I ask for storyboards, because I'm not in your mind. I don't know what you want. And if I ask you to give me what you want verbally, you may not give me what exactly you have in mind, because you can tell me something and you mean something else. That is why we are humans, right? So I ask clear questions on what exactly that that I need to work with. So things like this actually keeps a client. The final one that can keep your clients, that I see as a thing, is your pricing. Now, pricing depends on whoever it is you're working with. Now, if you are an upcoming animator, please, your pricing should not be over the roof, because you are not upcoming animator. Someone else somewhere that is not as good as you will take that money and will do, and the client will see the person's work as better than you. So pricing is something else that you should actually consider, and we'll still talk about pricing. Pricing is the next topic we'll be talking about. Now, something again I wanted to say I was working with Orange VFX. I started working with Orange VFX from last year, and I work with them remotely. And I noticed that since my first gig with them, they kept coming back to me. Like Mr. Richard would be like, "Hello, David, are you available? Can you work on this?" I'll be like, "Yes, I can work on it." Now, I've not really find time to ask him why he keeps coming back. I've not, because we actually got talking since last year. But what I noticed was that maybe it was how I normally respond to him. I mean, that is what I see. That is what I'm thinking about. Because I have never for once, I never for once, no matter how they critique on my work, I'll be like, okay, sir, please, sir, can you please, if you can, draw a pen on the screen, let me see what I'm doing that is not, that is not working, that is not actually giving you what you're looking for, and I am so calm. That is how I should be, because you are the creative person. You made this mistake. You are not saying that it's a mistake because you feel, oh yeah, you put your best into this. But whoever it is that is a client, it is the person that is paying for that project. So the person wants something. You should not be in that position where you get to argue with the client. Make yourself like be the calm person and try to understand what he or she wants. Most of the time, it's just one small mistake, one small thing that you just change, and then everything works. So that is that. Let me move to the next one, which is pricing your services confidently. How to set fair prices. Yeah, I was about to say something concerning this topic. Um, so for pricing, me personally, I will not. I don't want to give examples from my own end because I've lost clients due to wrong pricing. I've lost clients. I won't lie to you. Um, So someone came to me some time ago and the person was like, "Oh yeah, can I do a 20-minute animation for the person?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure I can." And then the person gave me um his what they call it, script. He gave me a script. He gave me his story. He said that they're going to record the sound, but I'll create the characters and all. Now, when I saw it was 20 minutes, I was like, I'm not a millionaire. And then I chased him away by calling 17 million naira. And that was how I lost that gig. You know. Now, as a freelancer, please see yourself as a freelancer. Do not see yourself as a studio. That is one mistake that will make. People once people finish learning from a place, that's when I start hearing I am Torchlight Studio, I am Apple Studio, I am Nokia Studio, and then they start and that is the major reason why we have small studios everywhere that can't even deliver good quality of work. I'm so sorry. This is not I'm not supposed to say this one. I mean, that is how it is. That is me for you. That is how I see it. So see yourself first as a freelancer. Now, your negotiation pattern should only be dependent on what the client wants. That is how I do my own thing. Since I lost that particular client, I came back and I started rejecting that. Oh, if I had known, I wouldn't have done this. So your negotiation pattern, should depend on what the client is looking for. Let me give an example. A client wants to do a full-blown animation, and because normally every client will just assume that how they do it when you want to shoot a film and then you go to the road with your camera and then you get actors and they shoot them at once. Now, the difference between that and animation is that your camera is capturing everything. It's capturing both the lights, it's capturing both the action on the character. It already has colors. So all you need to do is just to color grade and add soundtrack. But animation is not like that. Animation is like you are the god of the universe. You are creating everything from scratch. So you need to let your client understand that, oh yeah, this story makes sense. I love your story. I mean, give him the credit for the story. No matter how bad the story is, it makes sense because you're looking for money. So give him give him the credit for the story. And then tell him now, to make your story, it will work. To make your story, there are 6 characters in the story. for instance. And then there are like 3 environments in the story. And then there's animation that is 20 minutes. Then there's lighting, there's rendering, there's VFX. Now, give him breakdown for everything as a freelancer, not a studio. Now, after giving him the breakdown, now tell him that this thing is negotiable. That word negotiable will hold him down. That word negotiable will pin him down. He'll be like, okay, if I can negotiate price, then you can now start talking with the person. Now, if it is within the range that you can take, please take it. If you can't take it, let him understand that these are the reasons why I can't take this. You understand? That is one thing I do. So when the clients reach out to me, I try to bring up, conversations. I try to engage the clients to know what he has in mind, to know what he wants. We can talk for a long period of time. Some of them will tell you, oh, they are sorry, they don't actually have the money at that time to do animation. So you don't have money to do whatever you want to do. But you're in my DM, reaching out to me as if you are very, like, you're ready, And then we got talking, and then the end of the day, you don't even have the money. You're probably expecting money from somewhere, But it is worth it because why? You get to talk to people and then get to know what is in their mind. If along the line, you don't know who has the money, but if along the line, who has the money comes, let that be the what's the word? Let that be how you relate with the person. A client comes to you, you don't just give price like that. No. You don't just say, oh yeah, 20 minutes is 15 million. 20 minutes is 20 million. No. Get him to communicate with you. Let's see your story. Oh, wow, the story is nice. I love how Ade hits the rock on Tinubu's head and Tinubu died at the end of the day. That is not me. I didn't say that. But let's assume that is in the story, right? Let him, let them, give him the credit for the story, first of all. That will actually put his mind at rest that, oh, yeah, I wrote a great story. Meanwhile, you're looking for money. That is why you have, that is an opportunity. That is a strategy. Then you can now start, having normal conversation on the pipeline. Let them understand that, oh yeah, this is a pipeline. And on this particular one, on modeling, we get people to do the modeling, or I will do the modeling. On animation, I can get people to do animation. This is what they charge. On rendering, you can use a render farm. This is what a render farm will charge. Then you cannot add everything together and be like, fine, this is the amount. So if they can see it that way, some people will even go online to check for price. I mean, someone has told me that that I'm pricing him a million naira for 1 minute animation, but someone on Fiverr is pricing him like 200K. And I said, fine, we are different people, right? We are different people. I can't give you a price for something I know I won't deliver on. So if you're good with the Fiverr own, please go ahead. But if you want me to give you the quality you are looking for, because you came to me for a reason, you came to me because you saw something I've done before and you loved it and you wanted me to recreate the exact same thing for you. If this is quality you want me to do, this is what I can, this is my price, this is what I can offer you. And then he said, fine, that 1 million is too much. And then he brought it down to like 800K. I thought about it, like, okay, fine, I'll take it. Now, normally, there are people that I have done a minute work for and they paid me 200K, right? And I didn't do that because, I needed money. No, I did it to create this cordial relationship with them, to create this bridge with them. Because why? You can pay me 200K today on a project, and then tomorrow, more money comes in. Obviously, you won't pay me 200K anymore for the project, for another project I'm bringing, because the more the money, the more, the more the money on that is being paid, the more I should, get remunerated on the project. So the moment you build a connection with a client, first of all, that is the base of prices. That is how, more projects start coming in from clients like that. The next thing I want to talk about is avoid undervaluing yourself. Yes, this is one thing I would also try to, expatiate on. Now, you can. There were times when I applied to studios online, and then they wrote price per hour. Now, sometimes I write $25. Sometimes I write $15 per hour. And I didn't know that, how they pay animators over there outside of the country. If you're a beginner, right? Entry level beginners, some of them earn $30 per hour. I mean, the least an entry level earn is $25 per hour. I don't know if I'm not outside of Nigeria. It's what I saw online. Now, for you that is, that has the skill that is good enough, that you've seen your portfolio has gotten you to a point where you should, you should get interviews with, studios abroad. When they ask you certain questions about prices, please give them within the range that they should pay somebody in their country. So make your inquiries properly. If I should have an interview with, let's say, for instance, Disney, for instance, though I don't want to work with Disney personally, but let's say, okay, I want to work with Disney, but I want to work with Disney, but on certain projects, because I see what they put out these days with you know, the trends right now with the gay lesbian thingy, and doesn't really resonate with me. So that's why I said I made mention of I don't work with Disney before. But I want to work with Disney, don't mind me. That is just a slip of tongue. But now let's get to it. Now let's assume I get to, I get an interview with Disney, and then in the process of talks, then they ask me my price. Before the interview, they must have sent me a date. Oh yeah, we'll be talking so time. Will you be available? Now between the period of when I get the interview dates and the D-day itself, I must have made my inquiries. How much do they pay their staff? How much do they pay someone that is on this level of of work, or on this level of of skill, that can deliver on this and on that? Now, you now try to relate it with yourself. That would now determine how you get to give them your own pricing. So if in a situation whereby you get interview with people, please, even if you're trying to fill up online forms for work, and you're filling up forms for, let's assume, Kehillah Studios, for instance, once you get to that stage where they will ask you, oh, your price per hour, your hourly rate, please go and search for how much. Search for where Kehillah Studios is located. Oh, it's in London. Oh, good. They spend pounds in London. Now, how much does an entry-level animator earn in London? How much does an intermediate level will earn? How much a senior will earn? Now, after checking these prices, you now assess yourself, where do I find myself? Am I applying as a senior, or as an intermediate, or as an entry animator? Then that will now determine how you should give your pricing. It's actually very, very important, because if you're not careful, if you're a senior, if you're applying as a senior and you're giving prices of an entry person, they will assume you're not serious, you don't know what you're doing. So this is why people are actually strict like that. So handle negotiations confidently. Yes, I'll be talking about this sense. Communication is key. Be confident. You know what you can offer. You know what you're into. It is your skill. You took out time to either pay money online to a school to learn animation, or you took out those sleepless nights to watch YouTube. I watched YouTube. I did not I did not learn animation from a school, or from, I loved animation from scratch. So I took out time, took out my night time. I was supposed to read, I did not read. I was just watching tutorials online. And then when I get to school, I go and sleep in class. It was not funny. I see it now. My classmates are not even, they're coming to me now to learn. They want me to teach them, because when I was learning there, they were laughing at me like, oh, this guy is not serious with his life. I'm supposed to be an accountant, but here I am doing animation. So we took out time to learn animation. We took out, time to watch tutorials. You took out time to practice. Now, when you've taken all this time to do these things and you go out there to negotiate, you don't negotiate as if you don't know what you are doing. You don't negotiate as if you don't know what you've put into these things that you do. You don't know what you've invested in yourself. You negotiate with that mindset that, oh yeah, this is how far I've come. You've seen my portfolio, you've seen what I can do. So that is what you should base your negotiations on. If the federal government of Nigeria is coming to you now and say, oh yeah, bro, we want to engage you on a project, and you know how Nigeria works, the money that will come to you will not come straight to you. It will come through a channel to another channel to another channel to another channel, and then before the last channel will not pay the last channel before it will not get to you. In that scenario, you know that, oh, this project, maybe the billing from federal level is around like 2 billion. What is getting to you is around 800,000 naira, for instance. You should negotiate. This thing I'm doing, I know what it's going to be used for. This is what I can offer you. This money is too small. It's federal government are working for crying out loud. You understand? So that is how you should see yourself. You cannot say, it's federal government, they will arrest me with police. It is your skill. Nobody will arrest you because of your skill, you know. So stand your ground and, you know, speak up for yourself. And let's see what I have next. Managing project effectively. Yes, it is very, very important to manage project. I think I'm talking too much. I don't know if I've taken all the time. Am I taking more than my time?
Yes, but you can carry on though because our
Oh,
second speaker is not around, so like you can
oh,
actually
I'm sorry. I'm
speak
sorry. I'm
on.
sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, okay. All right. So yeah, use productive tools. Yes. For animation, you definitely would use tools. For me, I use Maya, I use Unreal Engine, I use a bit of Blender, then I use Premiere Pro, Photoshop, Adobe After Effects, a bit of After Effects, not too much. And then right now, I'm currently doing Python programming. I'm just starting programming, and I'm loving it currently. So you should, you know, learn to use softwares that aid your work, and then set timeless and track. Sorry, set timeliness and track your progress. Yes, that's one thing. If you've been to my page, that's one thing you will definitely see. You will see timeliness and you will see difference in time with things I post. So I can categorically tell you that animation that I posted 2 years ago will look extremely different from animation I posted last year. And animation I posted last year are extremely different from what I post now. Now, the difference is not in the animation. The difference is in the growth level. So what I did 2 years ago was where I was at 2 years ago. What I do now is where I currently am now. And what I'm currently learning would now determine what I will do next. That will be a lot better than what I posted some time ago. So please, whatever you do, make sure you track, and then you track your progress, and then you give yourself a certain time. You cannot, there is no time. I mean, time is money. You cannot say, I want to learn animation, and then you're learning one work cycle for the next 1 year. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work. I mean, how long? Now, if you can learn work cycle for a year, then how long will you do a full twist of someone that is dancing? It will take you like 2 years. Sorry? It will take you like 2 years. And so set a time frame and track your growth while you're at it. The next I want to talk about quickly is deliver quality consistently. Yes, please. I thought about this earlier on. And I made mention of Orange VFX and some other people I've worked on. Quality works. Now, quality is not what you see as quality. Yes, what you see as quality may actually depend on your portfolio. Good. But if a client is approaching you, the client actually has what he wants to create in his mind. So quality in that scenario will be determined by the client and will also be determined by people that will see what you have done over time. So bring yourself to that situation, to that level where your work, the quality of your work will speak for you. They'll be like, they mention your name. You'll be like, oh yeah, that guy, I work with him. He's actually very good. When you get to that place where people start recommending you like that, trust me, you are made. So and that's what we've been talking about all this while since the start. Then okay, let me quickly run through this. Building strong professional networks. I've talked about this before. Um, Go out, connect with people, relate, social media, join communities. Very, very important. Kehillah platform is one very nice community. You should join. Animation Nigeria, please. The other one I can talk about Agora community on Discord. Please join the Agora community. It's a good platform you will learn from. Seek mentorship and growth. Yes, please. Mentorship platforms, it works. People that have actually made it in this industry. Orange VFX is one, Richard, that's Mr. Richard, is one person that would mentor you and you would enjoy. I think yes, I don't know if he was on the platform, but I saw the flyer. Um, maybe people that have actually made it in the industry. Let them talk to you about their challenges and how they upscale to the level where they are currently. I think that's is all from me for now. So yeah, keep exploring, keep creating, keep growing in digital markets. And if you can put all these things and more into practice, trust me, the sky would not even be your limit. Like your limit would be higher than the sky. So yeah, thank you very much for the time. And I'm sorry for taking all the time.
No worries, because our second speaker was not can't make it today, so I tried to let you like flow longer than usual since she's not here, and then leave the remaining part of the session for any question and answer and probably finish early on. I don't know if you can stop sharing your screen as well so you can
Oh yes, yes. How do I do that? My screen is shared. It's shared into two.
share.
Okay, yeah, stop share. Yeah, yeah, I've done that.
Okay, so yes, thank you very much, David, for that presentation. I actually initially gave you 40 minutes. I thought that to be an hour presentation, which is good, not bad. So before I ask any questions that I have, I want to open the floor for anyone who may want to ask David any question from what he has been speaking about today, or any question that you may have had before even coming to the session. If you can drop it in the comments in the chat section, or you can speak, turn on your mic and ask your question.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the high openers. Yeah, I want to ask some questions. You know, as a creative person, sometimes some of us are very introverted. Let me put it this way. Um, like me personally, I'm guilty of these. I don't like to be like putting myself out there is very difficult for me. Like I can sit down in one place and just do something, and most of the things that I do, like I find it difficult to put it out there. So I thank God for this platform and for some platform that have been helping me to grow my knowledge in this creative world. Like you know, when you meet some people sometimes, like you want them to be of help to you, the next thing they will call for you is money. So how do you navigate that? Like you want them to help you that you're growing, you're just new to this space, and that you want them to please be of help. They'll call like, how much are you going to pay? Like, how does someone navigate that?
Okay. Let me start from your being introverted. Um, well, it's part of it actually. You can't take that away from yourself as a person, right? But all I can suggest you do is to try. Because whether you like it or not, I know it is, I mean, you're human, right? But trust me, the moment you start practicing something, before you know it, you get used to that thing. You understand? So just try as much as you can to go out and relate with people. I know it's something you don't want to do or something you're not used to, but trust me, if you don't try, you will remain where you are. Most of us are not like this before, but when when Sapa start holding you as an animator, you will not have a choice, you know. So please, you're a creative person. Let people get to see what you have inside of you. And the best way you can do that is by communicating with people, is by relating with people, by meeting with people, probably in animation function, animation meetings, animation festivals, you know, animation hangouts, tech meetings, you know, places like that. Please, that is one thing I'm not, that's all I can say concerning the introversion. Now, on the other one, you said you talked about um having something to do and you're approaching somebody and the person is asking you how much can you pay. Now, everybody has an input. Everybody wants something. If you're approaching me now, like, oh, you have a project or something, you want me on the project and you don't have money, right? And obviously, I will ask you how much will you pay because yeah, it is my input. I want to you wanted me to contribute to it skillfully, and my skill is where I earn from. You know, so I definitely will ask you how much you pay. But if you don't have money to pay, there are other things you can actually discuss with the person. You can say, "Oh yeah, I don't have money, but you know, you can have a stake in the entire business. You can have a stake in the whole thing. You know, you can take 20% at the end of the day. You can take 10%. You know, we can sign an agreement. Okay, when the money start coming in, this is the amount you'll be getting. You can get royalties at the end of the day. But then, provided you have a very, very good plan, and with your plan, you are able to convince this person that, oh yeah, this is a long-term stuff. This is a long-term project. It's not something that is not a one-off, right? So this is what I want to do. These are my plans. So I don't have the money now, but I have the connection that will actually bring out the money. So let's just do this thing. When this money start coming in, you get this amount, you get this, percentage in time, and then we move on from there. So if you can pitch it like that to people, trust me, people are willing to invest in projects, in upcoming projects. People are like that. But if you don't have money and you don't have plans like this, trust me, everybody will run, you know. So I think I'm able to, answer your question.
Yes, very well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I also happen to have that same question down as well about the introvert question because I also happen to be an introvert as well, and going to events was also an issue for me as well. Even sometimes I would register for an event and I would prefer to stay at home than to go to that event. So, but there were some times where I would see a creative event to go to, and I'll send it to one of my friends that talks more than me. So two of us will go, and then he'll ask all the questions while while I'm listening. So it's also a good idea to go with someone that talks a lot.
Yes, yes.
So yeah.
Something, yeah, yeah.
So even though I'm introvert, and then I'll have extrovert
Extrovert
friends
friends, yes.
who will go with me, and then they will ask all the questions, and then I will also be learning from their questions that they
From
ask.
them,
Like,
exactly.
so
Yeah.
if you're an
That
introvert,
works.
like if you're introvert, you can go with someone than going alone somewhere because sometimes it's better networking in person than networking at home or
And at
online.
home, exactly.
So
Yes, yes.
yeah. Any other questions? Treasure, you have your hand up.
Yeah, hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to talk a bit more about the introvert question a little bit. Some other tips that you can have is that for networking events, a lot of the networking most of the time is done before the event. So the event is kind of like a way that you guys are meeting physically. So one thing I'll say is that you can start connecting online Because if you're a beginner just learning, usually there are three hierarchies of people in a beginner's journey. There is those who are, ahead of you, which is the one that are much popular, that we know a lot. There are those who are ahead of you in your journey if you are just learning animation. There are those who are on your level, who are beginners like you. And usually there are those who you are better than as well. So usually if you are connecting online, it's good for you to try and hit all those axes, all those different people, and not just only focus on those that are ahead of you. So those who are on your level as well, you can start by interacting with them, share their works on your stories. Anytime they are posting, you're on their comment section, you're healing them on their comment section, you're asking them how do they do that. And from there, you guys can start having a conversation. So you are just having a bit of rapport, and then when you are coming into the physical events, most of the time, this is when you are seeing your faces for the first time. So that's a way of you kind of breaking the ice before the event, rather than just meeting randomly at the event and you don't know who they are. So that's it. Then that's one. Then also when you're at events as well, if it happens to be an event where you guys are able to, use your laptops or something like that, you can show them your work. You can also look at their work and ask them, hey, how did you do that? Because I found out that a lot of creative people, they are very excited to talk about their work. So when you go there and say like, hey, what's your Instagram page or what's your social media page? And then you are scrolling through their page like, this is very nice. So how did you do this? Most of the time, that is a good segue into having a conversation with a lot of creative people, because creative people, they might not be good at small talk. So how are you? We're not good at that. But when it comes to how did you do this? They can talk for hours. You can get most people talking just by asking them how do they do that. So I think that's another breaking in point for people who are introverted and they want to be able to connect at events. So one, don't just focus on those that are ahead of you, focus on those who are at your level as well. So try and communicate before the event if possible, so that when you're meeting physically. And then three, when you're at the event, also ask about their work, ask about their profile, get them to talk about their work, how they do things. That will also help to stir up the conversation. So those are just my thoughts on it.
Thank you very much, Treasure. Um, so we have another question in the comment section from Ezekiel. And he says, I am a journalist, but my mentors always advise to stick to a path. What do you advise? You are a journalist as well. How do you navigate being a generalist?
Okay. Um, as a generalist, I feel it's a good thing. It's actually the best thing ever because you have the opportunity to learn everything. But I would also suggest that you don't start as a generalist. If you're starting up, please, start from being a specialist first. So that is the only way you can actually, master your craft. For me, I am a specialist in animation, in 3D character animation, character and props animation. Sorry, excuse me. I'm a specialist in animation, 3D animation. But, it got to a point where I knew that, oh yeah, I need to start creating things for myself. Then I had to start looking for ways to learn this, to learn that. Then I started character creation, and I started, lighting and rendering, started learning rigging, and that was how I became a generalist. You understand? But before that, I was a specialist in character animation. So that being said, I will not advise you start, your journey as a generalist, because trust me, you will not master your craft. You will be confused. And whenever you put out anything, the quality would not be so good because it will be looking as if you have a little from here, a little from there, and then you add everything together as one. Meanwhile, what you should do is if you're a specialist in character modeling, yeah, once you model a character, people will know that, oh yeah, this guy, this is what he does. This is actually good at this thing. If you're specialist in animation, in 3D animation, and you're not so good in character creation, Whatever character, no matter how bad your character will look, the animation will make sense. So the animation actually project that, oh yeah, this guy is good. He probably did not even create this character. Character is not even, maybe he got it from somewhere, but his animation is awesome. He delivered very, very well animation. If you're not so good in animation and character creation, but you are good in lighting and rendering, your colors will be massive because why? That is where your specialty is. But if you are starting off as a generalist, then it's bad because you will not really settle down to know one thing in depth. You want to know everything at once. And trust me, you will crash before you even start. So most of the people that are generalists out there today did not start as generalists. They started as a specialist. So if you are starting off, please look for a niche. Get something. Look inward, look at what you can do easily and focus on that thing and become better at it. If you are good at animation, get better at animation. If you are good at modeling, become the very best in modeling. If you are good at rigging, focus on rigging to the point where you can rig clothes and the clothes will be simulated. If you are good at hair grooming, focus on that. If you are good at, clothes design, focus on clothes design. If you are good at lighting and rendering, give us that quality of Disney, that color quality of Disney, and when you have gotten to that stage, you cannot say, oh yeah, let me move into something else. I've learned this, I'm so good at this now that I want to learn something else. That is how you get to grow over time.
Okay, thank you very much. Does anyone else have a question before I start asking my? Okay, Treasure has a question.
Sorry, still just a on contribution on that.
Okay.
All right. So, the reason why this particular one resonated with me is because I'm also a generalist as well. So I do have a lot of things that I'm doing, although recently I've started specializing a bit better. So the reason why mentors are always advising beginners to not be a generalist, and it's a very valid caveat, is because being a generalist, you are going to be broke for a very long time because it will be difficult for studios to hire you because studios are looking for somebody to fit into their pipeline. So if you are a generalist, they won't be able to know how best you can fit into the pipeline. However, I do get their law. So if you are willing to go through that stress of being broke for a long time and feeling like you are not good at things for a long time, then of course you can't continue generalist, but just know that this is what's going to happen initially. So I think as a beginner, if you already know what you want to do from the start, then you should focus on that thing that you want to do. Specialize on it. Don't focus on learning other things. But if you don't know what you want to do exactly in the animation process, but you just know, oh, I want to go into 3D, but I don't know where I want to go through in 3D, then I think in that case, it would make sense for you to try the pipeline, go through the pipeline, and then find out once you've gone through the pipeline. I think that specialization will come naturally because then once you go through the pipeline, you're going to test all the parts of the pipeline and then find the one that you enjoy the most, two, the one that you are best at, and then three, the one that is most profitable. So if you can find the intersection between these three things, the one that you enjoy, the part of pipeline that you enjoy the best, the part of pipeline that you are best at, that you are very good at, that you are skilled in, you are proficient in, and the part of the pipeline that is profitable. If you can find a part of the pipeline or the part of your skill whereby, or part of your industry where all these three things meet for you, then that is the indication that this is the part that you should specialize into. So then just specialize into that skill. So until you're able to find that, if you're not able to find that yet, it's okay for you to test the waters as a beginner, but make sure that your antennas is like primed up to look for those things, or else you might end up struggling for a very long time unless you can define this is the thing that I am good at, and this is the thing that can actually bring in money the most you get, and it's also something that you enjoy as well. So that is just my thoughts on being a generalist.
Thank you for your contribution once again. So anyone else with questions before I ask mine? And then we will have a close as well. Okay, so yeah, I have one question as well. So yeah, I wanted to ask like what you think is like the best way someone who has no like prior experience how they have can they land their like first like freelance job for someone who has like no experience at all?
Sorry, please, can you rephrase the question?
Like what do you think is like the a good way someone who has no like prior experience, how can they like land their first like freelance job?
Okay. Okay, I think the first thing you should do, which was what we've talked about, is create a portfolio. So I think your portfolio will put you in that position whereby people would, want to, engage you because people have seen what you've done so far. So let's assume that you've not really worked on any project before, and you've been working on your personal project, you've been working on yourself, you've been growing, your skill. You've grown to an extent where people that you now start posting your stuff online and people start engaging. Now, among the people that would engage, some of them will definitely want to like among people that will engage on your post, some of them may actually want to engage you in person as an animator in house. I've had that experience severally. But let's now assume that nobody is engaging you based off on that, based off on your post. Please, there are different job platforms, LinkedIn, Indeed, and all. You can actually go there and apply to these studios online and see if they will even give you a consideration. Now, I don't know, talking to Miss Victoria now, I don't, some days, was it yesterday or so, I sent you a link um, from Triggerfish. That is one very, very good opportunity because they're looking for people in London and you're in London. And I know you're actually very good at what you do. So, I mean,
I'm actually
that
living in
is,
Manchester, not London.
oh, you're in Manchester. Oh,
Yes.
so good. All right. But still, I would suggest put in your portfolio, your resume, and then see what happens. You may actually get a call from them, and then you guys can get talking. You don't know what comes May. Now, that being said, just make sure that your portfolio is already available at all times. People should get to see your portfolio at all times because that is what people get to see to believe that, oh, this is what this person is doing. So this is how good this person has come. This is how far this person has come. And please always remember to update your portfolio every time. If your portfolio is from 6 months ago and you've practiced over time in the last 6 months and you've gotten a lot better than 6 months before after a portfolio, please do something extremely creative, and you can add a bit or one or two from your old portfolio, and then merge, and then your portfolio gets longer and it gives what people are looking for, and then with your portfolio, wherever you find yourself, whichever platform you find yourself, keep posting. If you can even talk to people, talk to recruiters online, if you can reach out to them and all, reach out to them, talk to them, send them the portfolio, tell them, oh, this is what I do, should in case you need, someone in this field, stuff like that. You don't even know, where that come from. But one thing I know for sure is that if you keep marketing yourself that way, if you keep talking about yourself that way, definitely you will get something along the line. That is what I do. That's what I've been doing over time. I even got as far as Agora community. I got to their Discord channel. Someone shouted from Agora community that, oh yeah, he was asking me if I could do motion capture cleanup, which it was actually very, very stressful. I started at first, but I could not finish it. I told him, sir, this is actually he's killing me. I had to tell him, no, this is not what I do because it is too much. I could not handle it. I had to let it go. But for him to come to me and like ask me if I can handle motion capture, obviously he has gone around the community to see if anybody around actually handled the motion capture. So people are like that, looking for people to work with. And you are here, you have your own portfolio, you're also looking for people to work with, you understand? So if you're not posting, you don't know how you may get to these people. So that is one thing I do. I post every time. I make sure my page is in. I engage people on my LinkedIn over time. If I'm not posting myself, I'm reposting other people's work. People see that, oh yeah, this guy is even an animator. That is why he's posting these things. So that is one strategy that I recommend you should use for now until along the line get something. And please also remember, try as much as possible to get on Fiverr, get on Upwork as well, because that is one very, very good platform for people without experience. We definitely will get something from there. And Indeed is one good platform as well. Indeed is one platform that people get jobs from as well. And then Instagram too, but the thing with Instagram is, people need to get to your page to see what you've done. So, wherever you posting, just make sure that your Instagram handles are always, attached. Your LinkedIn handles are always attached as well. So you can easily click to see your page, to see what you've done and everything. So yeah, that's all I can say from my end.
Thank you very much for that. And yes, I think you have answered like most of the questions I would have already in your presentation and also now. And I believe that no one else has any more questions before we round up. So lastly, before we go, I wanted to ask you what is like your one piece of advice you give to someone starting their freelance journey today? Like I know you gave several advices and strategies in your presentation and now, but like what's the like last message you want to give everyone today? Like especially for someone that's starting their freelance career, what is the last
Okay. It's not quite easy being a freelancer. Trust me, it is not quite easy. People will see you as though you're just sitting at home and they just feel, oh, it's wonderful computer, you know, they don't know what you're doing. I get that a lot. And trust me, you may get to that point when there are no jobs coming in, there are no contracts, no projects, nothing. And then people start telling you, oh, you're not working, you don't have money, maybe you can't pay, maybe that some certain bills you can't pay because no jobs and nothing. You know, that point in time is when you should actually put in your very best into creating a good portfolio. So there are times when you'll be free, maybe you're done with your projects and no new project is coming in, no new contracts, nothing. And then you start asking yourself, you start looking as if you made a mistake in choosing this field. That is the best time for you to start creating new things in animation and start posting and posting and posting. So just keep on pushing, keep on being resilient. And I'm sure that at a point in time, you get to that stage and you look back at it and be like, oh yeah, this was where I was before, this is where I currently am. But if you stop along the way, trust me, people that have not even started now, when they start, you will see them ahead of you. So just keep on doing your thing, keep pushing, keep learning, keep growing, and see you guys at the top. I look forward to working with you guys, trust me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. And yes, and I think it's a wrap for today and the end of our festival today as well. Like previous sessions, we upload our recorded sessions on our YouTube channel. I don't have access to that immediately, but like anyone here who's in the community, the link to that will be shared in the community on WhatsApp. And you can also follow up us on social media as well. And if you want to contact us, you can send us an email at kehillahstudios@gmail.com. So I appreciate everyone who has joined every session from the beginning to the end of our 5 day festival. And next week we're having next Saturday we're having a animation workshop as well online, which will be on storytelling. I mean, sorry, storyboarding. Then the week after we'll be having a filmmaking workshop as well for my guest um speaker who'll be speaking on script writing, and we'll also make that free for you guys as well. So anyone who wants to join, you can also register. We'll be sending like reminders in the community as well for that. So yes, I hope you guys stay tuned for more events as well. I hope to kind of like organize more festivals like this in the future, and also other creative events. Yeah, I think David has shared his information there as well if you want to connect with him as well on LinkedIn and also on YouTube. So once again, I appreciate David for coming here today and spending his time to speak with us today, and I appreciate every one of you who joined this session, and also previous sessions. And thank you guys for joining, and I hope you stay tuned with us and follow us up on social media as usual. And see you guys in another event, hopefully. Thank you all, and see you all next time.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.